Let's talk about something that happened in May 2023. Researchers at the University of Texas at Austin published a study that, honestly, should have been front-page news everywhere. They created an AI that can translate your thoughts into text just by reading your brain activity. Now, I'm not talking about vague emotions or simple commands. I mean your actual complex thoughts translated, word for word, just by scanning your brain. And the terrifying part? They did it non-invasively. Think about that. No surgery, no implants. All it took was a brain scanner and artificial intelligence.
So, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. I'm going to show you the three different technologies that can already read your mind. We'll look at the companies that are testing them on real people right now, and we're going to talk about why intelligence agencies are in a dead sprint to weaponize this before the public even knows it exists. But first, you have to understand, this isn't theoretical anymore. This is happening right now.
So how do we get here so fast? Well, to really get it, we need to go back to 2018. That's when Meta, Facebook's parent company, acquired a startup called CTRL Labs. It was a brain-computer interface company, and they paid over $1 billion for it. At the time, the story from Mark Zuckerberg was that this was all for, quote, typing with your thoughts in virtual reality.
But if you just look at the timeline, you can see how quickly this whole thing escalated. By 2021, leaked documents revealed Meta's true goal: decoding internal speech, the voice inside your head. Then, in December of 2022, researchers at UC Berkeley used AI to reconstruct images directly from brain activity. They could literally see what you were seeing. And all of that led to the breakthrough in May 2023 at the University of Texas, the one that changed everything.
But it gets worse. That University of Texas study I just mentioned, it went even further. They used an fMRI brain scanner, combined it with a language AI model, and translated people's thoughts into coherent sentences. And this is where it gets really disturbing. The same team discovered that with enough training data, the AI could start to predict what someone was about to think before they had even fully formed the thought. What that means is the AI was reading pre-conscious mental activity, thoughts you hadn't even realized you were thinking yet.
Even the neuroscientists working on this are raising red flags. Dr. Jerry Tang, one of the researchers on that Texas study, said in an interview, and I'm quoting, "We take very seriously the concerns that it could be used for bad purposes. We want to make sure people only use these types of technologies when they want to." But here's the problem, right? Once the technology's out there, how do you guarantee people will only use it when they want to?
The reason researchers are so worried, and why this is so incredibly hard to control, is that this isn't just one single technology. It's 3 different approaches to reading the mind, all of them advancing at the same time, and all of them getting scarily accurate.
Okay, let's break down these 3 methods. The first one relies on powerful scanners. The second one on subtle signals from your own body. And the third one relies on the data trail you're already leaving behind every single day.
So the first method uses those big brain scanners, like an fMRI or EEG, and combines them with AI. When you think, your brain shows these specific patterns of activity. You can think of it like learning a new language, but instead of words, the AI is learning the language of your brain's electrical signals. That University of Texas team, they trained their AI on just 16 hours of brain activity from each person. After that, the AI could decode their thoughts on completely new topics with 82% accuracy on the main ideas.
The second method is even more accessible, which is maybe what makes it scarier. When you think in words, your brain sends these tiny, imperceptible signals to your vocal cords and your facial muscles. Well, companies like Neurable and Cognition have already developed wearable headbands that can detect these micro-movements and translate them right into text. You don't even need a massive brain scanner for this, just a device that can read the electrical signals your brain is already sending down to your throat.
And then there's the third method. This one is perhaps the most insidious, because you're already contributing to it. By analyzing your entire digital footprint, everything you've ever typed, searched, watched, clicked on, AI can build a predictive model of how you think. It learns your patterns so well that it can start predicting your thoughts before you even have them. And for the record, Google's internal AI research division has been developing this since 2019.
And here's who's making it all possible: the same companies who already harvest every other piece of your data. Meta, Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, they are all developing neural interface technologies. And why? Because whoever can read minds first, they control the future of advertising, of social control, and maybe of human consciousness itself.
Section 3. The mind readers are here, and they're already being used in the real world. For example, just look at what happened in China. In 2019, schools in Hangzhou started using headbands that monitor students' attention levels in real time. The data goes straight to the teachers and parents. The students can't opt out. And if the headband detects you're distracted, you get flagged. The government calls it improving education. Everyone else calls it mind surveillance.
Or think about what happened to an employee at a major tech company just last year. They were testing these internal productivity monitors that actually included EEG sensors in the desk chairs. Well, employees started noticing that if they even thought about quitting or maybe unionizing, they'd get a call from HR within a few days. Or look at the Pentagon. DARPA has a program called N-Cubed, and it's developing portable neural interfaces for soldiers. The official purpose is cognitive enhancement, but the actual research, it includes thought-to-command systems.
And this isn't just a few isolated cases. We're talking about serious money. Over $30 billion in venture capital has already been poured into brain-computer interface and neural decoding technologies.
And that investment is fueling a global neurotechnology market that's currently valued at $12 billion, and it's expected to nearly double to $21 billion by 2027. And here's what should absolutely terrify you. All of this is being developed by private companies with almost no oversight. There are no international laws governing the right to mental privacy. So by 2026, we're expecting consumer devices with basic thought detection to start hitting the market. Apple already has patents for AirPods that can monitor brain activity. Meta is developing VR headsets with neural interfaces. And here's the thing, they don't need to read your mind perfectly. They just need to get close enough to predict your desires, to shape your purchasing decisions, and to subtly nudge your behavior.
So what does this mean for you specifically? Well, first, within the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to start seeing thought-to-text features appearing in consumer devices. They'll market it as the ultimate convenience. What they won't mention is that every thought is being recorded, analyzed, and fed right back into their AI models.
But long term, we are facing a world where your thoughts are no longer private, where employers can screen you based on your mental patterns, where insurance companies can deny you coverage based on so-called pre-criminal thought patterns. Just imagine applying for a job and being rejected because an AI analysis of your social media predicts you're the kind of person who might think about unionizing.
You see, you won't be punished for your actions. You'll be punished for your thoughts. And this is all happening faster than you can imagine.
Think about it. In 2023, we went from reading simple brain patterns to translating complex thoughts into actual sentences. So what happens in 2025? By 2027, some researchers are predicting that AI will be able to decode not just your conscious thoughts, but your subconscious desires, your hidden biases, and even your suppressed memories.
And here's the question that nobody really wants to admit we have to answer. Once this mind-reading AI is widespread, the very concept of free will becomes questionable. Because if algorithms can predict your thoughts before you even have them, if companies can influence what you think next, if your entire mental process just becomes data to be analyzed and manipulated, are your thoughts even yours anymore?
AI that can read your thoughts already exists, and it's being developed by the same companies that profit from your data. Now, this technology, it has incredible potential for good. I mean, imagine giving a voice back to someone with paralysis. But for every positive application, there are countless opportunities for misuse. And that's why we need laws protecting mental privacy before this technology becomes widespread. Because once your thoughts are being recorded, you can't unring that bell.
So what can you do right now? It comes down to 3 things. First, just be aware that your digital footprint is the primary training data for AI that predicts thought. Second, demand legislation. This isn't abstract. It means calling for laws that classify your neural data with the same protections as your medical records and establishing a clear right to cognitive privacy. Third, read the privacy policies on your devices. Look for language like biometric data, neural information, or thought pattern analysis. If it's there, you are already being monitored.
Because at the end of the day, human beings have always had one sanctuary that's been sacred: the privacy of our own minds. You could be tortured, imprisoned, monitored 24/7, but your thoughts were always your own. Mind-reading AI doesn't just invade that privacy, it completely eliminates the concept of privacy of thought. And once we lose that, we lose the last piece of ourselves that was truly completely ours. No company, no government, no AI system should have access to your thoughts. Period. That is not being paranoid, that is being human.